morning world. Boy, that's a bumpy start, isn't it? I almost forgot to put on our clubhouse light, so I just went over and clicked her on, and there we go. Even though you can't see it, you have to know that she's on at all times. When I walked through the room this morning, John said, oh, from New Zealand. Hi, Jennifer. John said, there's a cat on your back. And I'm like going, what are you talking about? So he took a picture. You know, little kids think your head goes in all directions. It doesn't. Let me see. Is this the right one? Yeah, look at this. Isn't that cute? I just adore that cat. And then I also, my daughter was given this mug at Christmas by Joey and Shelly. Actually, they got two, and she let me borrow one indefinitely because I just think it's so darn cute. And I'm not sure. Oh, I guess Anthropology is where they got it. I get up in the morning and I have my tea in this, and it just makes my heart super, super happy. So I want to tell you a little problem I had in case it's happening to you also. As you know, I love this So Steady, and Dee spoke about it on Saturday when she was working on the Jenna quilt, and it was starting not to stick. And so it would stick, but not the way I want it. So I took it to my kitchen sink and I put water on it. It didn't do anything, but it didn't really help. And so then I went and I washed it with a mild, here we go, let me turn this thing off. Goodbye. I use a mild dishwashing liquid soap and water and just kind of washed it off. And then it occurred to me, maybe the bed of my sewing machine is dirty. So then I went like with a Clorox wipe and did all that and then dried it off, and now it sticks like there's no tomorrow. The other thing is that if I need to change the bobbin, I just lift up the front and then it just goes right back down in place. So if you're finding that yours is not sticking the way you'd want it to stick, try washing it as well as the surface, and I think you'll be very happy with it. So, as you know, this week the show is extremely personally dear to my heart, and it is with Cindy Needham. Cindy does extraordinary work. She's been on before, but this time she's talking about her little girls, and I went and grabbed this off her Pinterest page. And these little girls are made from little hankies. You can do it. It's doable. If I can do it, you can do it. And she shared her thought process on what she does when she puts one together. Look at that. Just look at that. And I always look at the bottom of the picture, how she signs her name. It's just beautiful. So I got another Cindy here. Oh, now she does sell these on her website, Cindy Needham, and she is just about sold out right now. She said she's got 3 more. She's going to be putting them in the store. But the other thing that I was so happy for is her little tool finally came out. She has been working on this for a bazillion years, and it literally just hit our store and her store within the last week. And it's got a tweezer on one side and then a seam ripper on the other side. And the cool thing is you can just like store it right with your machine. And these are the two tools that I use all the time when I am machine quilting and such. And so this is really awesome. Yeah, Cindy's show was wonderful. And it was wonderful on 10,000 levels. That was the day you didn't figure it out. That's the day that after the first segment, I got a call. My mom was actively dying. And everybody pushed me out the door, and producer Shelly looked at Cindy, and Cindy looked at producer Shelly, and they said, let's do it. And honestly, the show and tell section, I adore how Shelly handled it with Cindy. I don't think we would have gotten the information from Cindy that we got if I had been interviewing her. She talks about the fires in Chico and how really truly she saved the day. And if you think that one little person, this little light of mine, it was a beacon for the quilters that lost everything in Paradise, California. So I have thanked Cindy publicly for this, and I will thank her again. You that day was unbelievably difficult, and you handled it with grace, with kindness. Your goodness showed through. But I am a little angry about one thing. After yesterday's watching the show, I had never heard of Army Navy table toppers. Never heard of it. So I spent $150. I went to, I think, eBay or whatever, and she talked about these. I knew nothing about it. Nothing. Okay, the Army are the white squares, and the Navy are the lace, and they're the more loosey-goosey. And so I got on eBay. I got the best one, but I didn't even run it by John. I just have to have it, you know? But the reason I have to have it is because this is, when you come into my house, I'm not mad at you, you know that for real, Cindy. When you walk into my house, the first thing you see is the dining room. It's a big, we're in a regular house, but I mean, it's a big double door. And you look in, and I always like my tabletop to be fun and something interesting to look at. So this particular runner I got when we were in Mexico, and I put it up because for my mom's last dinner that she wasn't at, we were having Mexican food. So I put it on the table, and I love to layer textiles. And so this whitish one that's under is nothing special. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be fun to layer it? Okay, so that's what I'm going to use it for. And it actually had, I think, 12 napkins that went with it. But in the quest of going down the eBay boat, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. It's still there. But oh, I want it. It's an odd size. This is, what's the matter, John? Oh, he's doing lighting. This is cross-stitched. It was very expensive, and I can't be burdened with the responsibility of keeping that in good shape. But oh, that is a slippery slope. So everyone is posting what a great show it was. And because we're in trauma with the change of the website, we have put it up on our temporary website for everybody to watch. And this is a very unusual show if you're not familiar with our shows, but I can't imagine one person watching that show and not being spellbound by what Cindy is doing. And even when we were cleaning out Mima, that's John's mom's place, there were all these hankies and everybody was ready to throw them in the garbage. I didn't throw them in the garbage. So if you're gonna make one of these little girls, I would recommend you get the stencil set because that has really saved me. And she has a really great downloadable book that you get with it or something. And she takes it through you so clearly. And you know from watching her what a clear teacher she is. So Cindy, thank you for saving the day. And on top of it, for doing such a wonderful job. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to continue with finished stems, all right? And I'm going to show two different ways to do the finished finished stems. John, this is really disconcerting. What are you doing? It's always lighting has just stepped in, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do using the Clover way right here. We've all seen these, right? And I'm going to tell you my humble opinion. In my humble opinion, I would use these primarily for things that are not on straight of grain, all right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I would use these for things that are on straight of grain, because let me show you what happened. I was doing I'm working on our next quilt, which is coming out so cute. I can't stand it. I tried to do the pull through, the folk art version where I did a pin and then I pulled under it, and this thing just turned into a mess, just a huge hot mess. Look at this. So I would tend, if I have to pull something through, to lean towards straight a grain, although I know you can do it the other way, but for me, I'm just not that comfortable with it. So I don't know why I've got a bazillion of the same size, but I do. These come in many different sizes. We do not carry them on TQS. They're Clover, all right? And the thing I love about the sasher that I showed the first time is that you get all the sizes in one packaging. So, oh, and if you're wondering what's happening here, Sparrow, the other day, I think she thought she was falling or trying to get on, but her little toenail caught on my skin and I got a little ouch, and it's not healing, so I thought I better put something good on it. She wasn't being mean. She just got herself in a situation and it made her scared. Okay, so I'm going to be working on the cross grain. It's a little bit of a pull. If it were on the straight grain, it would have no pull, but I'm okay with this. And so what you do, is you cut yourself an angle like that, all right? And then let me push this down just a little bit more. All right, and then what you do is you feed it, and the first time I did it, I haven't used these in 100 years, and so first time I did it, I cut like that. Now, do it like this. When all else fails, you go to YouTube, and you poke it in, and then you can see here that it's starting to go through, which is great. And then if it gets hung up, you can use a pin or your seam ripper, or, well, I'm going to use Cindy's seam ripper. Okay, I just took it out of the package this morning. Let's see what you're worth. I'm so excited to use it. I actually went and got it from the store yesterday. Okay, see that? All right. And then what's going to happen is as you pull it, you want to make sure that this stays feeding properly. And I'll tell you what to cut it in a minute. I just realized I didn't do that. And then I'm going to just pull it and take my iron, making sure, I might want to put a pin in down at this end too. It's like not telling you how to cut. It's like, the secret recipe. I did find out my mom's secret recipe for deviled eggs, which are the best in the whole world, is horseradish. A little shot of horseradish. And there you've got, oh, my iron wasn't hot. Doggone it. Well, that's how you do it, okay? You know what my iron turned off. Arrgh. So let's try this one, because I preset this one just in case I couldn't get it. You might even want to put a little shot of starch on it. And this is the acorn starch that I just got a little bottle like that. I'm going to get the a big spray bottle thing. I scored that. I'm talking to Bernie and Shelly. Now remember, they're gonna be on Friday. Tobish. Okay, I'm gonna go like this, and I'm watching it feed in down here. Oh, you can't see. I'm watching it feed it here. Let me move this down this way. Okay. There we go. Much better with a little shot of starch, right? So let's say, and this isn't let's say, this is the truth. This one, this is 3/8 wide, all right? 3/8. 1, 2, 3, just shy of 3/8. I'm going to double that for the cut. So it would be 1, 2, there, 1, 2, 3. So I would cut this strip at 3/4, all right? So whatever the finished size is, that's what you're going to double it, and then you're going to be good to go to have it pull through. So that is one way to get nice little strips. Again, I would prefer it only for straight grain. Now, if you want to do bias, I'm going to show you the metal rod way today, and then the Karen K. Buckley way on Wednesday. And I will tell you, I was nervous trying the Karen K. Buckley way, but once I got it down yesterday, I'll show you what I made. I made yards of this stuff, and I put it on a toilet paper roll. So this is a hint of what we're going to be doing in our next project. It's going to be both piecing and applique. So what you do here is you take the finished measurement, you double it. So let's see what this is, just for grins. Okay, so this is a 1/2 inch. I need to double it because I need it on both sides. And then, so I make it 1 inch. And then I'm going to add a 1/2 inch for seam allowances, 1/4 on this side, 1/4 on the other side. This is on the bias. And if I were to do a bias, I would do it this way, or I would do it the Karen K. Buckley way. Or if I got really astute at the sasher, I would do that. So there are a couple little tricks with this. Let's talk it through. First of all, when you cut your bias, and I showed that the other day, you're going to have to piece this all together, all right? So, oh, that's great because the stripes are going the same way. Oh, see, I don't think I'd want it like that. I think I'd want it this way. And then how you piece it is you offset it. I'm going to say 1/4 inch here and 1/4 inch here. And then I'm going to stitch it. Now, the ticket is when you go to press it, you're going to have a bunch of these unions. Make sure it's pressed with these underneath seams all going the same way. Don't have some going this way and don't have some going that way. And I'll tell you why. Okay, so this one here, I have stitched. Oh, the first thing I did is I went and folded it. Okay, and then I stitched it my 1/4 inch, all right? And then this snugly fits in, this metal rod snugly fits into here. Now what I will do is I will roll this to the back. Okay, this is the good side. This is the not good side. And again, I would starch it. All right, and then I would iron it. Now, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. These iron rods, or these metal rods, I don't know what the heck they're made out of, but they get really, really hot. Kind of like when we were doing the circles with the Appliqué. So you have to be very careful, all right? Maybe I'll just even go like this with an extra piece. Now I'm going to continue to push it. It's pretty tight here, you could see. Maybe my 1/4 inch was a little big. I'm gonna go, oh, now see, here's the seam allowance right here. Had the seam allowance been going the other way, you would hit a dead end right there. It's darn near impossible to get it out. So I'm gonna keep going. And then, wow, this is really tight. I'm going to roll it again. Now, Karen K. Buckley's way is not like anything you have ever seen before. I assumed it was this process. No, it's not. You actually do it on your sewing machine. It's really super cool. All right, and then I'm going to turn it over again. You can see here it's starting to come off. Iron it. And again, this is for finished applique. All right. And you just keep doing this, and it comes out absolutely spot on beautiful. Iron, press, and so it goes. And then what I'll do is, like I showed you earlier, I'll just roll it on a toilet paper roll, and then it's good to go. All right, just keep going till you get done with it. I forgot to mention one thing about the Clover ones. You can get, this is a 1/4 inch fusible applique stick. You can run the applique stick as you're pulling it through. Where's my little sample? Huh. Anyways, you can run the Appliqué through this. Or just down like, where is that? As you can see, this was not real successful for me. Like this, and then as it comes out, you iron it, and this irons to the back side of the stem. So you can do that. I found that it became too stiff and not so pliable to be able to move. So why do I want it on the bias? I want it on the bias also so that I can curve it like this and iron it. So you know, there's a lot of considerations when you are doing with the tube stems. How much of the seam do you trim off before you insert the bar? You know, that's an interesting question. I'm going to come back over here. Karen K. Buckley trims off, got a note here from the producer. Karen K. Buckley trims it off really small, but yesterday I was hanging out with Wendy and Meryl on Zoom, and Wendy said she likes to keep it fat so that it doesn't collapse. So, you know, if I were doing an itty bitty stem like this, you know, you'd have to trim accordingly so it's not hanging out. But if it's not sticking out on one side or another, I leave it the same. And what you're looking at here is a 1/4 inch. That's what you're looking at here. The Clover tape doesn't stick too well. You know, I'm going to say the Appliqué, you are adding another barrier here. And like on the thing that we're going to be doing, I don't think it's going to work. Well, I'm doing finished edge applique. Again, it's pieced and appliqué. And I want to be able to turn it. So as soon as I put the tape on it, it will kind of bunk it up a little bit. So let me look at some of your comments here. I hope you guys all had a great Valentine's Day. With the true, okay, let me see, great idea, thanks. I sew my 1/4 inch with the rod in place and use my zipper foot to snug it up against it. Wendy, you're onto it. You're onto it with Karen K. Buckley's. And so is Alyssa Burke who you did your journals with? No, Joanne Sharp is who I do it. Yeah, that Stosetti is pretty neat. So, but again, it'll stop sticking, and it's that it gets dirty underneath. So Rose said, I have tried for several years to machine quilt feathers the way Cindy explained it. Light bulb moment. Eternally grateful to her. I'm a feather making mad person now. Me too. Hey, Shelly Tobish, I'm looking forward to sharing your guys' interview on Friday. Shelly and Bernie taught me something after the fact when we hung up that I'm going to share with you, but it's kind of like I have to make you all sign a release form that you won't sue me if you wreck your machine. Just saying, Shelly. But I do love it. So, okay. Yeah, it was so funny because yesterday I was saying to Wendy, I said, have you ever heard of that Army-Navy thing? And she said, no. I mean, yes, she had one. So I think it's super cool. Everybody can go watch the show. And it will not be free forever. I got news for you. This is just while we're making while we're doing the turning of the site. So, will the new website debut today? No. Unfortunately, it's a holiday for a lot of people. And one of the things we're specifically having issues with is it's a search function. And so John is working with somebody in Germany right now trying to get that. We don't want to roll it out too soon and then have it be a big disappointment. But when you see it and when you see what the capabilities are, it's fantastic. And I want to say that your patience, Lisa said, no, they need another week. Lisa, I don't know who you are, but I love you. This is a huge, massive turnaround, and it's going to be so much more functional. All right. you know what I love is you guys have my back. You have my back. When Cindy puts the item in the frame, does she put it behind glass or does she leave the glass off? She leaves the glass in. And what she does is when she puts it in the glass, then she puts a little bit of wool batting behind it. Well, let me get mine and I'll show you because I did it how she taught me. History, whoops, I'm at the wrong thing. Camera, document camera. Let me go grab mine, all right? This was my very first one. I can turn it this way. Let me move this up. My very first one. And I couldn't have done it without her stencils because it helps you get like the little grids. Now I did do the feathers. I did draw the feathers myself. But what she does is she puts a little, that's where I signed mine, a little wad of wool batting in there. And then goes down like that. And that just pushes it tight up against here. So you got a question, Jen? I have this man lurking around here. Oh, you just the notes. Don't look at his notes. So, oh, Kathy, I can't wait to see the new website, but I can wait for perfection. Guess what? I can't promise you perfection, but we have been working so hard on it. Let me keep looking here at questions. Let me get back to the other camera. Let's see. Okay. Milwaukee, that's where my dad went to school and was born and raised. Shorewood High or Shoreline High. Oh, I see my friends here. So anyways, you guys, I hope you have a very nice day. If you have not treated yourself to Cindy's show, you're missing it. You are missing it. And again, it's not going to be free forever. It's our penance for making you wait. And so you can't even buy a membership right now. You think we're happy about that? You can shop in the store. I will tell you that. And those gals are busy. So please repeat the measurements for the post, base, and roof. I would be happy to do that for you. I've got too many overlays going on here. I'm hoping you can't. Okay. For document camera, now let me go back to FaceTime camera. I don't know what that. I hope you're not seeing that thing that's, John, are you seeing my select an image file? Hey, John, are you seeing my big selected image file? Okay, so it looks normal. Okay, cool. All right. So this is 1.5 inches finished wide. The roof is 1 inch finished, and I just tucked the ends in, all right? And this is 1 inch wide. So 1.5, 1. All right? Okay, good. Who knows with me? Good grief. So as I say goodbye, I saw this on Facebook this morning and it just absolutely spoke to me. Here we go. Have a good day.